Well, my name is Shannon. You guys know I'm here with XPS Solutions at the SSA show in beautiful Maryland. I want to introduce you to my friend Paul. I'll give him a minute to talk in just a minute, tell you all about himself. And somebody that you may or may not be familiar with, Mr. Jim Mooney. Paul, tell me a little bit about who you are, where you work, and what the people would like to know about you.
Well, we are running 11 facilities, primarily in Virginia, Central Virginia market, and 2 in Maryland. One that makes everybody jealous because it's Ocean City.
Love it.
But you know, the components that we're really looking for from XPS is that when the manager's hands are full moment, and I think that for some managers they're a little more reluctant to let the call center get it, as I say. But relying on that is really a benefit to the manager. So that's where we, I think, see the big impact, and the data as well that's available. So in our locations, many times it's one person.
Yes.
So
well, and it
really,
is very fair to say we're there when they can't.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Let them get all the ones they can. I 100% support that. 100%. Jim, how about you? Tell us about yourself.
Well, again, Jim Mooney Jr., we're Vice President of Operations for Freedom Storage Management. We have 28 stores currently. We run we only have 4 offices. Everything's run remotely. I actually just had the privilege of doing the manager session this morning with Dave Cooper.
Yep.
And one of the questions I asked the room was, how many people still have an answering machine in their office? And a few hands kind of went up. And I'm just like, and I asked the one lady, I said, okay, so on an average day when you come in, how many missed calls do you have? She goes, oh, 6 or 7.
How many messages?
I said, how many messages? And she said, none.
Ouch.
I said, so anybody here, if you're not using a call center, why? Because they're there from 6 a.m. to whatever the hours go.
Yeah.
They're always there. They're going to answer the phone. They can take a payment. They can give out a gate code. They can help solve a lead. And one thing we talked about earlier was stopping the shopping.
Yes.
Because we are in such a need-it-now society that if you can't answer the phone or answer the question, they're down to the next person.
Yeah.
Right.
And having a call center, I mean, and the question I asked earlier, what is one rental worth to your organization? And if you're averaging 12, 13, 14 months of length of stay,
$1,500.
yeah, $1,500. You paid for your call center. One rental a month pays for your call center plus some.
Right.
So for me, it's a necessity to have it, that you have people answering the phones.
Yes.
Yeah, you can describe it to a manager sometimes. I tell them, I'm like, do what you're in the middle of, and then just check your email. Because the XPS has got you backed up. It's there.
Yeah.
If you're out on the grounds, you're taking care of a lot cut or sweeping out units or whatever you've got to do. Run to the bank. Whatever kind of errand the manager has to do, much more happens at the facility than behind the counter. But then when they come back and they get behind the counter, just check your email.
Handle it.
Well, even me, I mean, my one office runs 8 facilities out of one office.
Right.
I got 3 girls in the office.
Right.
Busy.
But certain times a month, first of the month, whatever.
Yep.
And I can tell you, like when we send out friendly reminders or we send out text messages or phone calls, our phones lit up a Christmas tree.
Right.
You're not going to capture them all.
Can't.
And the rule in our organization is if you're with a customer or you're on the phone, you let it go. Let it go to the call center and let them handle it and follow up with them after the fact.
Question for you.
Yes.
So you mentioned you were talking about the value of that lead. Just out of curiosity, do you guys keep a handle on how much it's costing you to get that phone to ring in the first place? Like, what are you spending on your...
Absolutely.
You're really looking at that now, too. You're taking into account the cost of things like Google Ads. So that it used to be you just put your money into the Yellow Pages or something to make the phone ring. But now it's a much more diverse and technologically driven spend pocket.
Yeah.
I can tell you, we break them down, and thankfully, we use Sightline as our PMS. So we have everything going to our PMS with S-source code. So I can track my S-source code, whether it's a call center lead, a spare foot lead, a website rental, website reservation. And I can tell you, I just did analysis. I know a lot of people don't like spare foot, right? However, I can tell you last year, my average cost per rental at Sparefoot was $130.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
any owner or operator would pay that to rent a unit. Yeah.
Now, I did pay them a lot of money for that, but they got me over 1,000 rentals last year.
But you don't have to have every single one of your units on there, and you
No.
get to determine like what the rate is going to be and all of that,
you can
right?
do all that, but again, it goes back to tracking it. And we were talking earlier about one of the things I look at, even with all my leads coming in, is where's the source coming from? And I just did a consulting job not too long ago where the owner was freaking out because he thought his prices were wrong. Well, his prices were good. They couldn't find them on the website, so they weren't getting phones ring. And the other thing I know we talked about this before.
Interesting.
Very, very, very important for me is I have a call tracking number on my website
Yes.
Yes,
that goes
you have
right
that too,
to the
right?
call,
Yes,
that
yes.
goes right to the call center.
So you said something very good there, Jim, in that like when the person couldn't find information on the website, so the phone wasn't ringing. So that is, like I said, no more yellow page. That's how they find you. People will go to your website first, then call the number on the website.
That's right. That's why you
they're
track
not
that.
picking up
I made a
phone book.
joke
It's just,
earlier. Christine Avellino from Fineview Marketing, she has a wine goblet, right, little one, them rubber ones, and it says the best place to hide a dead body is on page 2 of Google.
yeah,
Awesome.
funny.
It's true.
That's
Nobody
true.
will ever see
Nobody
it.
sees it, but and it's amazing. I don't know if you guys see it, but not having a call tracking number on the website that goes to you guys.
Yeah.
That's the one piece that you need. You can track everything else
Right,
digitally.
right.
You can't track the phone call.
Yeah.
And then we can hold, the call center accountable, the manager accountable. Okay, these leads came from the call center.
Right.
Yep.
What's our closing percentage on the call center lead?
Yes, as well you should, right?
and-
Like they have a job to do.
And a manager might say, oh, well, that person, they just called or they just came in. But oftentimes when I ask more questions, that it comes out that the conversation with the prospective tenant was them saying, I saw something online.
Yes.
And that's why I was here. Right?
Well, you
So,
guys know we take,
yeah.
200,000 calls every month, and
Right.
I will tell you,
Yes.
the majority of sales calls begin with the words, I was looking at your website
Yes, there
and
you
dot.
go.
Right.
Right.
So whatever their question is that's coming right now,
Right.
they've already looked online.
We talked this morning about the importance of every lead, and one of the questions we did a Slido survey in our first thing is, what is the appropriate follow-up time for leads? With, same day, next day, within 30 minutes, or at customer request. And some of the answers were kind of shocking to me. And in my world, my managers are required within 30 minutes. We would love 15, but with timing days, all these things going, 30 minutes to be following back up with that lead.
Yeah,
and
if there's any way that they can. Now, obviously, like you're doing it in a different model.
Right.
I have a solo person in an office. If they're out of the office for 40 minutes, you're not going to have a 25-minute or 15-minute follow-up on a call.
No.
But the concept would be, you've got the XPS email in your bin when you get back. Now,
Call 'em right now.
oftentimes they're getting the emails on a phone as well, so they might be able to do it even if they're out on the grounds, see that something happened, and then come back.
Do you have your guys calling? That's a good point.
Yeah.
Do you have your team calling when they're like out on the golf cart in the
No.
in the back?
No,
40?
you want 'em-
No.
you
Okay.
want 'em right.
I'm so well. You said that,
Yeah.
and I was like,
well,
well,
they
you're
can
not
see,
asking them
they
to
can
call,
see,
right?
oh, I got a call
Okay.
because it came up in their email.
Yes.
But because the email could be going to that phone.
Good.
But what I don't want them to do is
Is call.
forward their phone to the phone, because then they cut XPS out of the loop.
Right.
Well, that
Which
and
is
they
what we do
cut
not want.
corners,
Yes.
and you'll have someone on a golf cart talking about, let me just write down your credit card number on my arm.
Yeah.
But one thing I like about the call centers is when they're capturing as much data as possible. Name, phone number, email address. And one thing we've seen over the last couple of years is we're seeing more and more people want to communicate electronically.
Yes.
So when we get the email in from the call center, we're going to then grab an email and forward that. We're going to call right away. We're going to try.
Yes.
But we're going to follow up with, hey, by the way, Paul, we're going to send you an email with some more critical information you can follow up with a link to rent the unit. And we've done very good with that because we've had people that will respond faster to an email than a phone call.
Yeah.
Yep.
I can see that.
So by
Yeah.
happening, you guys capture all the pertinent data, and let's face it, how many payments did you take last year, you think?
We took about 4 million payments last year.
I can tell you in my world, my managers now will not take a phone payment over the phone. unless they're going to pay a phone payment fee.
Sure.
Because we have other options, call center, online, text messages, all these things. So if you have to talk to my manager in the office, we're charging you $5.95.
That's awesome.
Not that I want the money, I want to retrain them, and we say, okay, you don't want to do that, call back.
Or call online.
And press number to get whatever.
Yeah.
So,
or set up auto pay, do all the things.
It is so nice to be at home on a Sunday and just look at my email and see XPS took a payment, XPS took a payment. That is absolutely good to see. Yeah.
So with SiteLink, are you actually doing it where your call center takes it over the phone payment as well if they speak to a live person?
We have not set that one up yet. We've talked about that a couple times. I would love to implement that. Keep it status quo. If you can pay via the IVR, absolutely. But I think if you have to talk to somebody anywhere, it's a fee.
I would say $5.95 because think about that.
That's
if you added $5.95 to every live payment, that'd be basically the same as renting one more unit a year. If you could rent one more unit a year, would you?
Oh, absolutely. I want 3 more units a month. What are you talking, 1 more a year?
You know what though? But
I think we should just all charge $1 for each one of the 4 million payments that she took.
I think as I'm saying that, I should charge $1.
But no, it's crazy just having the payments, and especially like when the late fee rolls on the 5th or 6th, and that's a Friday or Saturday or Sunday.
Yes, and our phones go nuts.
No, Paul, you first of the month or anniversary?
Anniversary.
Okay, we're first of the month, which I think, in my mind, is a better solution because everything happens at the same time.
I would not want to touch that with a 10-foot pole, but okay.
Fight.
No, he's wrong and I'm right. That's how it's going to go.
Right.
Listen, I'm just going to tell you most of your calls still happen on the 1st of the month, but okay, fine.
Exactly. But we're seeing that, but having those payments come in, and like we're using storage collections for robocalls now. So they're pushing the robocalls out, and people are trying to call back in. And go,
Right.
Yep.
What's that?
Right. So it's pushing your facilities are doing a robotic call for collections.
Yes.
You said. Okay. Yeah.
Through third party.
So, and it's providing a number that basically goes to an IVR, I'm guessing.
Yeah. Well, it comes back. It comes back to the call center. But it's actually, because I was not a big fan of robocalls when I first thought about it, but the data is showing me that it's actually working.
Okay.
I'm telling you, people who are past due do not want to talk to somebody.
No,
they just want to get it taken care of.
One of the things we've done recently, though, and one question I asked this morning was, how many of you invoice people before they're due? If they're not on autopay, how many are getting an invoice? And in my world, it's mandatory, right? And the question to the room was, what day are you invoicing your people?
Okay.
And I was getting 10, 16, 18, 12, all different numbers.
Right.
How about you? When do you guys?
Normally it's 10 or 20.
Okay.
Days in advance of the due date, you mean? Okay.
Yeah, now you're hoping the customer's on auto pay.
Sure.
And it's just a friendly reminder of your payment coming due. So we will often ask the customer, would 10 days before that be good for you, or would you want more time? Then we'll default to like 20.
So you can actually, when you set up their account, you put in a number of days. Do you do that as well?
No, we actually changed ours. Everybody, if you're not on auto pay, you automatically get an invoice, and we send ours out 6 days before they're due.
Okay.
Yeah.
And in the body of the email says, why wait, pay now, click here. And I can tell you that I've seen, when I know when the invoices went out, because I'm seeing my online payments double because people are clicking the link. You know what? The policy is like, I'm due now.
The push button right now kind of mentality.
Yeah.
If they're like, oh, I can take care of this now, and I just hit the button.
And it's only 6 days. My thought was, if you're sending me 15, 16, 20 days
I don't want to pay you.
I don't want to pay you because I'm not due.
Right.
But if I can say 6, and we tried 5, we tried 7, and we've settled on 6.
6 is a sweet spot, huh?
For us, it was a sweet spot.
Yeah.
But by doing that, we're seeing a lot more people, and it says, why wait, pay now, click here? And I always ask, where do you think the link goes? Everybody goes, oh, to your website. I'm like, no, it doesn't go to my website. It goes to the payment portal because I don't want the customer seeing what my current prices are.
That's a good point. Well, and I always say, too, because a lot of people, like with the robocalls especially, they will leave a phone number to text or something like that. And I highly recommend that you don't just have it go to your store or to a call center.
Paul, who does your website?
That's a storage webpage.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say go directly into an automated payment system.
So, like right now, that pay online link up there, that's where my payment link goes right in there. So, right to your account, just log in and pay it.
Yeah.
Right.
Can they set up auto pay there, just out of curiosity?
Yes, they can.
Awesome.
They can. And we set up that, so we actually have it in our system. So because everything's first of the month, so when the credit card drawn on the first or second day after the walkthrough's done, we actually build a friendly reminder in our SiteLink software that we can email everybody past due. Hey, Shannon, friendly reminder, your rent was due the other day. By the way, don't worry, click here, pay your bill now.
Sure.
And we can see that. So we put a couple things in place that really make their lives easier.
Do you say things like, oh, just a reminder, you're past due by 3 days. Remember, if you go to 5, there's a fee of.
We don't.
You don't remind them
Nope.
of the fee.
No.
Because I was thinking maybe that would get them to click now. Oh, I don't want that fee.
Well, the thing is, we talked about it this morning again. When I asked everybody in the room, I said, when does selection process start? Well, day 5, day 6. I said, okay. I said, when we explain our lease, and with us being first of the month, a lot simpler. You're due on or before the first without demand. After that, you're considered
The
late.
second is late.
Because if I tell you you're not late till day 6, all they hear is 6.
Yep.
But if I can say this, it's going to go that route. So.
I also hate the term grace period. You guys use
I
grace
hate it.
period.
Right.
No, I don't like
Yeah,
that at all.
it definitely can cause an issue with move-outs. People think, well, I have a grace
I
period
have a grace period.
on my departure from your facility.
Yep.
No, that's not really the case.
Yeah.
You owe for a month now.
We
Do
actually-
you prorate on move-outs?
Actually, during COVID, we actually had a lot of people that come in on the 5th and 6th, hey, I'm out. Well, no, you owe us. And they would leave their lock on the door. And during COVID, we were so full, we wanted that unit.
Wow.
So we actually rolled out a program that we call it a prorate anytime. So if you give me notice and payment prior to the 1st,
Okay.
we will prorate you at any given point of the month. However, if you miss it for any reason,
Then you
would
have a whole month.
and the late fee that would have occurred.
Okay.
Now, the only thing it does is stop. We haven't figured out how to stop the automated messaging. Like, you won't get a phone call from us, but you're still going to get the text, email, the thing like that. So there are a few caveats to it.
Okay.
Not a lot of people take advantage of it. The ones that come in, if they're good customers, will try to offer to them.
Sure.
But especially if the end of the month is around the 1st or 2nd,
Yeah.
we know people start to move. But we really try hard to require a 14-day written notice on all vacates.
Yeah. I just hate, though, for people when the first of the month is on Thursday, and you know darn well they can't move until Saturday.
No
Right?
prorate.
No prorate.
And you don't prorate.
Everybody, but being anniversary, it's different.
Right.
Well, yeah,
Yes.
it's a lot easier because you're not worried about the
It's a
first
You
of the
moved in
month.
on the 5th, your rent's due on the 5th. I wrote it on the top of your rental agreement, you're due on the 5th. By the way, I can invoice you 10 days before the 5th.
Yeah.
But
Or you can just set up auto pay.
Yeah, or
Write
just
it
go
down
on auto
here.
pay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we tried to make our customers' lives easier. So one of the rules for us, and we use SiteLink as our software. When everybody rents a unit, we automatically make their gate code their web code that they can log online. 'Cause
Oh,
one of
that's
the problems
brilliant.
we have is, I tried to pay my bill online and I couldn't log in.
Yep.
I couldn't create my account. So we tell everybody up front when we rent the unit,
So
hey,
you actually create it for them.
create it for them, and we make their
What a great idea. Can I steal that and give it
Sure,
out to other
absolutely.
people?
So their
Fantastic.
phone number becomes their
Already
gate
doing
code, becomes their web code.
Yeah.
That we do this.
We do the same.
you do the same thing.
Online pay code is your gate
Yeah.
code. Yes.
Okay, so
Yes.
I'm telling you, as a call center with very many clients and very many stores, not very many people do that.
And
they require their own tenants to go set up their own stuff, and they
So
inevitably
when
forget.
people call into our call center and say, "Hey, I'm trying to pay my bill online," one of the
Your
questions
gate code.
that's the key.
Right.
Have you tried your gate code?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Without the star. Don't press star.
Yeah, no
There you
numbers.
go. There you
No,
go.
or pound. Yeah. But it really makes it. But by having everybody set up and in our software, I can tell you how many people have an email address, how many people have a web code.
Yep.
So we go through it and we fix that because we make sure it's right. Because we never want to have an operator say, "Well, you can't charge me late because I couldn't pay."
You could have paid any other way.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, so now this is where we arm wrestle, right, Jim?
You guys are both right. Yeah.
Yeah. Anniversary. No.
those are the
Listen,
Yeah.
first of the month is the anniversary. Let's just be honest. It's
So everybody's different. I mean, it worked. The only time we ever we run our discounts, we do a lot of 50% off 2 months, whatever discount. So the only time that really bites me is on the actual first of the month. But every other month they come in, they prorate in, they get the next month's whatever, and we actually took it a step farther that now if you get a discount, say you get 50% of your first full 2 months,
Okay.
and it comes time and you don't pay your bill by the 5th, you lose your discount.
yeah.
It's in the
Absolutely.
list somewhere
But
that
you said something else there that's key is that you're giving them a discount on their first two full months.
Right.
So they're paying a partial based on the prorate in.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we
So
don't have to
they
worry about
prorate
that.
in,
Exactly.
they pay an admin fee.
What's your admin fee?
We're at 22.
We just changed ours to 29.
Okay.
And you're not including a lock.
No, they got to pay for a lock too.
No! I love it.
We're 96% lock penetration right now.
Fantastic. You guys doing insurance?
Protection plan, but we're required. Yes.
Okay.
So
And you require it.
Yep.
Okay, got it. You?
Well, technically, you can't require it where we're at.
Okay.
but
Virginia or
we
Maryland?
can't make it mandatory.
You can
We
require it.
require that they have insurance or proof of
Yeah.
insurance.
Okay, so they can
Yes.
bring their own,
Right.
essentially.
But we use
Got
a
it.
tenant insurance program.
So
I
now
love
what
it.
happens when they come in the door to rent, they don't have it with them? Do you add it on, or do you give them a grace
In
period?
most cases, the managers are doing a good job of either telling them, look, you got to get me a deck page, so reach out to your insurance people now, or let me sign you up, send me the deck page later.
Got it.
In our world, is okay, you don't have it with you, we're going to add it to your account now, and as soon as you get me a declaration page, we will remove it going forward.
Yeah.
We also actually, if they give me a declaration page, we have a waiver of liability they have to sign on top of
But
that.
I think
That's
that's
fair.
an unspoken advantage of a person having talked to the call center before your manager does the call back to follow up on that lead, is they have been outlined on the requirement of insurance ahead of time.
Yep.
And your manager comes in, they do the follow-up, and now
It's not a surprise.
That is not a hurdle nearly as
Yeah.
some people throw up a barrier.
You know,
but
I'm so surprised that it is really a barrier, and I don't think we necessarily do a really good job of explaining how protection plans work in our industry as being different from like your homeowners plans,
Right.
where they will, you'll have a nice big fat deductible that you don't have with, protection plans and self-storage. Also, you just flat out, if you have $5,000 worth of coverage, you get a $5,000 check, as opposed to an insurance agent coming and saying, I think this stuff is worth about, I don't know, $60 a pound or 60 cents a pound for how much stuff
We
you
actually
have.
just had one of the parts of my session, we talked about protection and insurance,
Yeah.
and I told a story back in the day, we had a fire.
Oh, ouch.
And we had a customer, and most of the customers had the insurance at the time. We were using. Well, two guys didn't. One guy had a car and it was unfortunate. The other guy used his owner's policy. I said, well, here's all the information you need, whatever.
File or claim, right.
Well, his deductible on his owner's policy was $5,000. The lease limitation says $5,000. So you know what he got?
Nothing.
Actually, no, he got a rate increase from the insurance company for filing a claim.
there you go. That'll happen.
I didn't even think about that part. I mean, luckily he didn't get dropped.
Right now, but it's really interesting, and I love coming to these conferences because having conversations with Paul and Dave Cooper and all these people I talk to,
Yeah.
we all do things a little differently, and we always go back and we take something we learned from somebody else.
Yes,
Oh.
yes.
Like we use on our website, we have a company called Calculate that actually helps you build your storage unit.
Right.
Now,
Yes,
some
let's look at your
has
website
one.
too. I lost Sherry. Let's see if I'll do my own Vanna here. What website should I look
Go
at?
to Freedom Storage Management.
Yeah, we have the same type feature, and I should probably say we are changing our website. We're going to G5. So, and there's many new companies coming to the
Put that
industry
one in Virginia. That's fine.
that
It's
are
one of my
bringing
sources.
more options, websites integrated to software, etc. But we're thrilled to be going to G5.
I love it. When are you making that change?
It should be coming in the next 60
Are you
days.
going to?
Norfolk?
Oh, nice.
Go up the locations for me. Go up the top.
You
I
need
think I
a
have
new
zombie
video.
fingers.
You need a new video drone guy.
No, it's
I think this might be our internet.
yeah.
'Cause
We have dro-
oh, here we go. It's coming. Give it a second. These all just popped up down here.
yeah. It's not. But yeah, we would have a button on there for right there. See where it says "Build My Space"?
Yeah.
If it works.
Yeah, we're locked up, I think.
Oh, there it goes.
There we go.
go. There's that drone footage. Nice.
There's that beautiful drone footage. Did you have Josh Huff do that?
No, we did not. We have our own internal guy who does it for us. So we had drones on all. Actually, funny story. When we switched website companies, they said we can't put the drone footage. I'm not coming. Drone has to be on there.
Yeah.
We have a building that's all internal. We put the drone on a flatbed and just rolled the drone around the
Yes.
building.
Yeah, that's how our drone guy did his footage.
Yeah.